Hi, I'm Shelley Moore. My role in BC is I'm very fortunate because I get to travel and work with schools and districts and teachers and classrooms around how to include students of all abilities. Ability and disability are just one piece of a very large puzzle that include all of the things that make us diverse, whether that's culture, or language, or race, or religion. And so when I think about diversity education, I include all of those things, but I realize that we sometimes forget the importance of neurodiversity, which kind of is bringing back that importance of ability into that question. And so the more I learn about it, the more I just think how important and critical it is in our schools. Homogeneity in classrooms was done for a reason that was valid 200 years ago, but that industrialized, colonialized model is no longer what we strive for. I think if we ask ourselves the question they did when education began, or what are the skills of society today, and how do we recreate those conditions in education, I think we'd have to really take a look at ourselves and say, the skills of society today are not to be the same, and navigating sameness. It's really about how to negotiate and respond to people who are different than you. What sometimes gets lost in the translation of diversity is that we're not just doing this because it's the right thing to do. We're doing this because actually everyone has contributions to make. And I think that if diversity isn't a part of kids' learning, it's actually a disservice to everybody. I think the number one thing that I would give advice to anyone for is to build rapport. Connect with those kids. Often they're the hardest to connect to, but they need the most connection. I think the other thing that's so important is, just as much as we value the diversity of kids, we have to also value the diversity of our educators, giving teachers the space to be creative and innovative, so that that magic can really come through, because we're fighting a lot of barriers. I think when we're teaching, to really to remember to design to the edges. Think about those kids who need support, think about those kids who need challenge, and you're going to capture the kids in the middle, but it's so much easier to teach to a range than it is to try and teach to an average or assuming a homogeneous group of learners, because it's just not the reality of classrooms. The true belief that everyone has something to offer and a perspective that's valued, that doesn't always line up everywhere. And so I think that we're in such a unique position here in British Columbia to really become a leader in how we can work together to make something happen so that everyone belongs. I think it's a really pivotal time in the history of BC education.